So this is my phi number calculator, and I hope this is useful. This was actually something that I created because, yeah, if you read the article, coworker, a friend at work, was asking about how much they needed to save for retirement, and of course, me, I launch into like, oh well, it depends on da 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 da. Anyway, so long story short, I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, you're gonna have to, you know, calculate this multiple times throughout your life to make sure that you're on track, especially because, they were, very young. And so like it's, their life's gonna change. Like, what if they get married? What if they have kids? Like that's all gonna change. And so that's kind of one of my main points that I want to get across here right from the get-go is your FI number or, the amount of money that you would need to retire is, kind of one, it's kind of arbitrary, especially if you're young because you don't really know what life's going to look like. And two, it's going to change. And so, this is just a target. All right. So, this is just a target to kind of give you an idea of how much you want to save. Now, I would say whatever it is, try and save a little bit more than that if you can. So, whatever it is, if it comes out and it says, hey, you need to put in $250 a month, start there, and then every paycheck, every time that your pay gets bumped up, add an extra percent. All right. And just keep doing that. And then eventually you'll be, probably maxing out your TSP and you'll be good to go. So anyway, so long story short, this is not financial advice. This is not me telling you this is exactly what you need to do. If you want some pointers on some places to look for somebody to sit down with you and do this one on one, I can point you in that direction. But this should give you kind of a good general idea of where to start. Okay, so really, so like let me kind of walk through this calculator here a little bit. So you're really, kind of the big parts that you're going to do here is, you're going to put in your inputs. I've locked everything here, so you shouldn't be able to like screw this up, so to speak. So right now I've got it kind of set up. I was playing around with it earlier. So let's say, you're 18, you want to retire at 67, you're going to spend $4,000 a month. You know, uh, and then we'll say, you just started out, you don't have any money. So you've got to save up all that. Now, when you first do this is going to be really scary. Like $5.5 million. That's how much I'm going to need to retire. Okay. Now calm down. Cause this is like, this is 49 years into the future. Okay. And things are going to change a lot between now and then. So, and maybe your expenses aren't this much per month. Maybe you only spend $2,000. But either way, we'll just we'll put it that right there for now. All right. So we'll say you haven't saved anything. Say you're putting whatever 150 bucks a month in. All right. So it's going to show you, hey, like yeah, that's not enough. Um, and then also in here, so you can do your military retirement, your Social Security income, and then other retirement income. So this could be if you have rental properties or something like that. Now, if you don't have any of these or you're just starting out, I would ignore these for now because you are not going to be able to get a really good idea of what these will be. Now, I did include, so if you have been in for a while, then I did include the DoD link to a link and QR code to the DoD military compensation calculators, as well as the Social Security quick estimate. Now, once again, you want to use, like kind of those estimates, but only if like you're pretty sure that you're going to end up retiring. If you're just starting out, you're on your first enlistment, statistically speaking, you are not going to retire from the military. Okay. It just, it is what it is. Now you might. And so, if you get to 15, 16, 17, 18 years in, then, okay, now you can do that and you'll have a pretty accurate idea of what your retirement income will be like. And then you can kind of factor that in. But until then, I wouldn't even worry about this, but you can add those in there and it will, it'll make a difference. So, if you had $10,000 of that, $10,000 of that, and I don't know, $5,000 here. All right, so you can see like each one of those is kind of whittling things away. But so we'll just just pretend like we're not doing that. All right, but then I set it up to where it shows your FI number, so that's kind of your big target that you're working toward. and it also will show you, what you are, projected to have, at your current savings rate. And then down here, I got it to spit out like, okay, so this is how much you need to actually save per month in order to reach this number. So, so whenever you look at 5.5 million, that seems pretty, pretty overwhelming. But whenever you say, hey, look, it comes out to $366 a month, um, that seems much more doable, right? Okay. Now, and just know like this is going to be off a little bit. I purposely took these down to where they're not going to show the cents and all that stuff because none of this is like hyper accurate. Okay. It's not going to be, this is ballpark figures, right? And I don't want you to think like this is, I need, to the cent. Like this is going to change. Okay. Um, and then, I kind of set this up. So if you're not saving enough, then, it'll show like, okay, you're in the red. All right. But anyway, um, so that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, the other number that I want to show you real quick is this coast fine number. Now, this is kind of helpful because like this is just kind of like if you were going to retire today, or like if like, or I'm not going to retire today, but if you were going to stop contributing today, how much money would you need to have in the bank? And so that's kind of where this comes into play. And so if you put that in, um, so if you put it in here, 49, whoops, 43, I can't read, 43, 966, then you'll see, okay, cool. Now we're zeroed out. All right. So, um, I'm going to put 67 in because I want it to be green. So, because that makes me feel better. Anyway, so then you can kind of look at that. So, say for instance that'll kind of tell you like, okay, well, if you have a bonus coming up or something like that, like, well, you could, potentially like pretty much just retire off of that bonus if you invest it. So that's just something to think about and something to really show you kind of the power of, the compounding over time. Another thing I want to show you real quick. So let's say, um, you know, you would have, $366 would have been enough to have 5.5, million dollars in retirement, but you didn't start until you were 22. Right? Now technically, needed less in there, because it's going to, there's less time to inflate. So that's a little bit off, but it shows you like, hey, you're going to be short $1 million because you waited 4 years, which is pretty crazy. Now, the other thing too is if you did wait that long, $481 a month is not unachievable. Okay. It's not unachievable. And you can always adjust retirement expenses. Maybe you don't need $4,000 a month in retirement. All right. Maybe you only need 3,000. Well, then, okay. Then no harm, no foul. You don't, no big deal. So this is your life. You can make those adjustments. You can, change things as you need. But I just wanted to create a tool that would be useful to you to give you kind of a good starting point, as far as, what you need to save for retirement. So, yeah, please let me know if there's anything that would be helpful to you, anything else that I could, do to this calculator to make it a little bit easier for you. But I think if you read through the article, which is linked here along with the QR code, I think that'll help out a lot. But if you have any questions, please let me know. You can shoot me an email at hello@enlistedmoney.com. And if you're not already, if you're just watching this video and you didn't already sign up for the investor newsletter, that's investor plus investor equals investor with an E. And then head over to the website, download the calculator, and then you'll get signed up. And then any updates that I have, any other useful information, you'll be able to have access to that. So either way, I hope this was helpful. And once again, this is just a best guess. So you're going to want to redo this once a year or so. But just an idea or just a way to make sure that you're kind of on the right track. So thanks.